So the objective here we have split it into the three parts. The first part begins with the MATLAB program to perform the convolution of the two signals. The signals are given as, here we have x1 of t and x2 of t. So as you can see, the representation of signal as x1 of t, x2 of t. So t specifies it is a continuous time signal. The value of x1 of t is equal to 1, specified the range of t is from 1 to 10. Whereas for x2 of t, the value is given as 1, specified the range 2 to 10 here. So we have to perform the convolution into the MATLAB environment. Whereas the second part, here we have again the same kind of statement to perform convolution, whereas the given signals are x1 of t and x2 of t. So again the continuous time signal, whereas the values are 1 with the specified range of, here we have 0 to 2 for the first signal, whereas x2 of 2 we have negative value also for 1 to 2, whereas for 0 to 1 we have positive value. So in the first case we have throughout only the 1 values for the given signals. In the second case we have positive as well as negative parts into the second signal. Whereas we have the third part. So the third part is a MATLAB program to perform the convolution of the following two signals. The two signals are discrete time signals, hence the first signal is represented as x1 of n with the value 1 for the range of n parameter to be 1 to 10. And we have the another signal that is represented as x2 of n, that also has the value 1 but with the specified range of n is equal to 2 to 10 here. So let us switch to the MATLAB environment, and one by one for all these three parts we can produce the output. Now for performing the convolution of the two given signals, we have to generate those signals as well, and the given signals are of continuous time type. So here for the continuous time we have the representation of time parameter by t here. So its range should also be decided here. So for that purpose we generate the variable named tmin here, and to the tmin we specify the value 0 here, whereas we require the maximum limit to the time parameter, so it is specified to 10 here, and the difference in this time scaling can be denoted by dt, and dt is provided with 0.01 value. Now the time parameter can be set as t is equal to t minimum with the intervals of dt up to t maximum here. So this way we have set the time parameter. Now it's time to have generation of the signals here. So here I just mention a comment here. So this is first signal here. So the first signal can be generated here and can be holded the information with the help of the variable that can be named as x1 here. So x1 here we write 1 having the dot asterisk operation with the operation into this parenthesis, where the range of t, so t which is greater than or equal to 1, and here we have the t less than or equal to 10. So from 1 to 10 we have this particular signal number 1 on the time axis here. So we can end this formulation of x1 with the help of semicolon. Now here we can generate the second signal. So the second signal information can be holded by the variable x2 here. The x2 can be formulated as, here we make 1 having dot asterisk operation, it means element wise multiplication, to this bracket here. So within the bracket we have the logic of time here. So t is greater than or equal to 2 here, and it ends at t less than or equal to 10 here. So as specified into the program statement here, I say we have generated both of these signals here. Now The simple task of convolution is to be performed here in the MATLAB environment. There is inbuilt function for performing the convolution. So here I just mention a comment here, result of convolution operation. So for performing convolution, the syntax is there and the result can be folded up by the variable x3 here, that will be the new resultant signal after convolution of the x1 and x2 here. So here we mention x3 is equal to conv is the syntax, and the input we can provide x1 comma x2 here. So this is the convolution will be the resultant one, and here we shall be requiring the time scale range for the result that is to be produced here. So for display purpose we shall be needing it. So n3, the n parameter for the resultant x3 signal, here we shall be having. So it will be having the value length of x3, and then we can have the time parameter t1 is equal to 0 to, here we have the time intervals by 1 up to n3 minus 1 here. So we end it, and now after these two parameters generated, then we can provide the plotting task here. So for display of the input as well as the output signals here, we shall be taking the help of subplot. So for subplot, here we provide the 3, 3, 1 as input to this command. So it will be the first cell for the 3 rows and the columns here. So here we shall be using the plot command as it is continuous time signal, and to this plot command here the inputs are time parameter t and the first signal that has been holded by x1 here. Now here we can make the labeling. So x label shall be with the parameter time t within a pair of single quotes. Then y labeling can also be there. So in the y labeling, here we can provide it represented as x1 of t here, and then the title we can provide. So title here we shall be providing as first signal x1 of t here. In the similar fashion we have to display the second original signal. So we shall be writing subplot 3, 2, 3, 1, 2 here, and there it will be the plot command. To this plot command the inputs are t, x2 here. Then we have x label. The x label will of course be the same time parameter t. Then y labeling. So for y labeling, as it is the second signal, we shall be writing x2 of t here. Then we can have the title here. So for the title we write second signal x2 of t, ending the syntax line with the help of semicolon. Now we are going to plot the output of the convolution here. So for that purpose we have a subplot. The last cell we are going to assign 3, 1, 3 here. There it is, the use of plot command again. Here we make the use of t, x3, x label will be by the parameter t time, and y label. So for y label also we provide the signal representation by now x3 of t here, and then the title. So for the title here we write the result of convolution of x1 of t and x2 of t here. So this is the script we have generated for producing the convolution of given two signals into the first task. So here we want to save this particular script. So I shall be writing program 1_10_1 here. .m will be the file extension, and here we are going to execute this program by pressing run here. Stop. So while plotting the output of the convolution, here we have generated the time variable that has a new scale. So this is the time parameter t1 here. So with the respective changes saved here, we run this particular program. So here we find this is the output window here. So for the first row here, we have displayed the first signal given as x1 of t. Here you can see right from 1 to 10 we have all the values to be 1 here. The amplitude you can see onto the vertical axis, whereas from 0 to 1 it was 0 here. Now for the second signal that has been displayed into the second row, the second cell of this subplot here, from 0 to 2 there is no value, so that is equal to 0 amplitude, whereas from 2 to 10 it has completely 1 value here. So the result of the convolution of the x1 of t and x2 of t we have plotted into the last cell here. So that has been represented by x3 of t. So this is the first task we have accomplished while programming into the MATLAB environment here. So let us see what was the second task. So this is the second task. As you can see, x1 of t is specified with the value 1 from 0 to 2, and x2 of t is having 1 for 0 to 1 and -1 for 1 to 2 here. So for that one we switch back to the MATLAB environment. So in the MATLAB environment we shall be requiring another script here. Here we shall be writing close all, clear, and CLC here. Then this is again for performing convolution operation. So program for convolution. Then for the given new two signals we have to generate them. So before that we shall be requiring the time parameter tmin can be set to the value 0 here, whereas we have t maximum, so this can be set to the value 4 as per the given details, and the dt can be equal to 0.01 here. Now we shall be setting the time parameter from tmin with the differences of dt up to t maximum here. Now generating the given signals here, we shall be writing the first signal with the help of variable x1. So x1 can be written as 1 having dot asterisk operation with this parenthesis here, where we shall be writing t that is greater than or equal to 0 and the t is less than or equal to 2 here. For the second signal, as we are having the two values of amplitude +1 and -1, here we shall be taking the help of two intermediate variables xa, that is assigned to the value 1, and xb, that is assigned to the value -1 here. So now we shall be generating the x2 here. So x2 we can write xa dot asterisk operation within the bracket. Here we shall be writing t that is greater than or equal to 0 and t that is less than or equal to 1 here. Now the bracket is completed and this operation is added with the operation for xb having dot asterisk operation. So within this bracket, here we have the range of t for negative amplitude, that is t having greater than or equal to 1 and t that is less than or equal to 2 here. So now we can have the convolution performed, and the result of the convolution can be held by the variable called x3 here. So x3 can be computed by having the syntax conv for convolution, and the inputs are x1 comma x2, the two signals here. So for the range here we shall be having the intermediate variables n3 that will be specified the length of the newly formed variable, that is x3, holding the result of convolution here. Next to that we can have the t1 parameter that has more length as compared to the initial two original signals here. So it will be from 0 with the interval of 1 up to n3 minus 1. Now it's duty to have plotting of the original and the resultant signals here. So here we make the use of subplot. So for subplot we go for 3, 1, 1 here. The command will be of course the plot command, as we are still working with the continuous time signals here, and the inputs are t, x1 here. Now it is a part of labeling. So x label. So for x label we provide time parameter t. Y label we provide the signal representation y x1 of t, and the title here, the title we are providing first signal, that is x1 of t here. Next to that we have to display the second signal also. So we go for subplot 3, 1, 2. It will be a plot. Inputs are t, x2 here. Then labeling part, x label, it is t. Y label, there it will be corresponding second signal x2 of t, and the title here. So the title is second signal x2 of t here, and the result of convolution here we are going to display with the third cell of the subplot. So it will be 3, 1, 3, and there it is the plot command, and in this plot command we have to specify the time parameter as t1 as we have formulated, and x3 that is holding the result of convolution here. So now x label is time parameter t here, y label. So for y label the output signal we have represented by x3 of t here, and here we make the display of title. So title we write convolution of x1 of t and x2 of t. So this is the script we have generated for the second task of this MATLAB demonstration. So let us save it. So I just mentioned program 1_10_ second task 2.m will be the file extension here, and here we go for running this program to see the output. So as you can see, the window has been displayed here. So it has the 3 rows here. So I maximize this window. In the first window, the first cell here, we have the first signal represented x1 of t. Now you can see whatever the range of amplitude that was specified to the given signal that has been displayed in this subplot here, whereas the second signal that is having the positive one as well as negative one part, both have been displayed in this particular subplot here. The convolution of the two we can find into the third subcell here. So let us switch to the third and the last task that we have decided in this MATLAB demonstration, that is for the discrete time signals. So let us see the task. So we have to perform the convolution of discrete time signals x1 of n here and x2 of n. So for both of x1 of n and x2 of n, the value of amplitude is equal to 1. For the specified range of time parameter n here, for x1 it is 1 to 10, whereas for x2 it is 2 to 10. So let us switch to the MATLAB environment and have this programming. In this MATLAB environment, we shall be requiring the new script here that we have taken. Now we shall be writing close all, clear and CLC. So the previous window, the result from the second task will be closed here. The variables from the second task programming, those will also get null here. The command window will also be cleared, and then the new execution of the program will start over here. So here I just mention a comment. This is a program for convolution of discrete time signal. So now for discrete time signal, we have to generate x1 of n and x2 of n, and the time parameter here we shall be denoting by n here. So very first of all, we specify the n to range from 0 with the intervals of 1 up to 15 here, and the two signals can be generated folded up by the variables x1 and x2. So x1 I write 1 having dot asterisk operation. Within a bracket we have the logic with respect to the n variable. So n will be greater than equal to 1 and it will be less than or equal to 10 for the first signal. So we end the syntax with the semicolon. In the similar fashion, we have the mathematical logic for x2 variable. So here we write 1 having the dot asterisk operation with the bracket, where we specify the range of n greater than or equal to 2 and n that is less than or equal to 10 here. So both the input signals of discrete time type here have been generated here. Now the lengths of these two discrete time signals will be required. So those we save with the variables capital N1 and capital N2 here. So N1 we write length of x1, whereas N2 I write length of x2. Now we perform the convolution over the two signals. So x3 is the new signal that is holding the result here. So x3 is equal to, we make the use of conv command for convolution and provide the inputs as x1 comma x2 here, ending with semicolon. We take another intermediate variable n1 in the small casing holding the value 0. Next to that, it can extend with the interval 1 or capital N1 added with capital N2 minus 2 here. So this I can put within parenthesis here. We end it with the semicolon. So this is the time range that we are deciding for the display of the result of convolution. So now it's a part of plotting here. So we go for subplot. So in this subplot we go for 3, 1, 1. The first cell we are going to assign As this is the working with respect to the discrete time signals, the stem command we shall be making the use of, and here we are providing the inputs as n comma x1. The labeling part, x label, here we have the time parameter in discrete, that is n here. Then y label, as this is the first signal, I just mentioned x1 of n, and the title here we shall be giving it to it. So this is first signal x1 of n here. In the similar fashion we have to display the second signal as well. So this will be a subplot 3, 1, 2, the second cell, stem command, and the inputs are time parameter n and x2 as the signal. X label shall be the same here, that is for the discrete time variable n. Y label, so y label will be for x2 of n, and there shall be a title here. Second signal x2 of n here, and lastly there it will be a display of the result of convolution. So I mention here subplot, this will be 3, 1, 3, stem command, and in this stem command we have to provide the input variables as n1 comma x3 here. Then x label, within a pair of single quotes we have to specify n as the variable. Then y label, this will be x3 of n, and the title here we can provide convolution of x1 of n and x2 of n here. So this is the complete script. Here we are going to save it with the name program 1_10_3. I give it the name. So saving it with the .yum file extension and running the program. So here the output window has been displayed here. I maximize this window, you can see it better way. The first signal x1 of n as specified has been displayed here. The second signal has also been displayed, x2 of n into the second row, and the result of the convolution has been displayed at the third row here.